The topic of risk management has already come up a couple times throughout the course. Here, we are going to define it explicitly. So we will answer the question, what is risk management? We will look at the typical risk management methodology. We will review what a control is, and then look at two examples. So what is risk management? In short, this is the identification, assessment, and mitigation of harm. Now, that harm can come in different forms. This could be bodily harm, such as the car accident example that we've already looked at. This could be financial harm. For example, an identity thief opens up a credit card in your name and then goes on a shopping spree. This can also be reputational or psychological harm. For example, you or a loved one has an embarrassing, what they consider to be an embarrassing medical condition. Their friends and colleagues learn about that and they are embarrassed. They have suffered disrepute. So harm can take many different forms. Risk is the potential for harm, and a threat delivers that harm. And we're going to look at examples here. The typical risk scoring methodology, and this is prevalent throughout the disciplines, is the severity of harm times the probability of occurrence. Now, if you're trying to get mathematical and that's confusing because, like me, you are not a math person, the important thing to consider here is that if there is no probability of that harm, then it is zero, because 0 times anything is still 0. What is a control? Again, this is a quick review. It's a countermeasure or action designed to modify risk. The three types of controls, the three categories we looked at in the previous lecture, include administrative, technical, and physical. The example that we've already looked at is the car accident example, but here I just want to make sure that we're matching up what risk, threat, and a mitigation would look like. So the risk is of bodily injury. That's where you would suffer the harm. The threat is the car accident. So the accident, or perhaps it's another individual's car, they are the threat. They are delivering the harm. And the mitigation or control would be seatbelt, obeying traffic laws, maintaining your car, etc. Now, we as privacy professionals, we're concerned with privacy harms. And so one risk to personal data would be unauthorized access. In a recent lecture, we talked about a nosy colleague who's poking around in SharePoint folders, and they just so happen to have access to a folder that they shouldn't. So they open up the folder, they rummage through the documents. This is unauthorized access. So this is a risk. Now, in that case, the threat is a nosy colleague, but this could also be a malicious actor, a hacker who is going after your organization's data, not only to snoop around, but also to exfiltrate, to remove that data from your organization, or perhaps to copy it. Now, one mitigation or control would be data encryption at rest. If that data is encrypted and the malicious actor does not have the encryption key, then they may be able to exfiltrate a folder. But if they do not have the key to decrypt that data, they are not going to be able to access it. And so data encryption is a popular control to prevent unauthorized access. In this lecture, we dealt with risk management very explicitly. Remember that risk management is the identification, assessment, and mitigation of harm. Risk is the potential for harm, and a threat delivers the harm. A common risk scoring methodology is the severity of harm times the probability of occurrence. A control is a countermeasure or action designed to modify risk. The three categories of controls you need to remember are administrative, technical, and physical. And in conclusion, we looked at two examples of what risk management looks like. We looked at the car accident example, as well as how to mitigate risk from malicious actor exfiltration.